Hey everyone, welcome to Real Talk with Ellison, and I am Ellison. Today we are going to be discussing marriage. Is it still relevant? So, before I bring on our special guest, y'all know how I do. I have some statistics, but first, I want to let you know about the generations because I think some of us may be confused as to what generations are what. So, we have the silent generation from 1925 to 1945. And then we have the baby boomers from 1946 to 1964. Gen X is 1965 to 1979. The millennials or Gen Y is 1980 to 1994. Gen Z is 1995 to 2012. And Gen Alpha is 2013 to 2025. So y'all figure out what gen y'all belong in. So I wanted to say that because right now the percentage of marriage that are ending in divorce is an alarming 40 to 50%. So people getting married are getting a divorce at alarming 40 to 50%. And in Christianity or Christendom, it is 20 to 25%. That's in the church. That is in the church, you guys. So 20 to 25% ending in divorce. And the rate is going up because of the millennials and younger generations of believers. So the rate is going up. So I find it interesting that out of all of these generations, a survey that I was looking at, and despite that baby boomers are getting older, they have the highest divorce rate. So I found that was really, 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 really alarming to me. I'm like, wow, we were supposed to mimic them. So anyway, this real talk with Ellison. Anyway, so the millennials and Gen Z, if they are getting married, they are doing so later, right? So helping me to discuss this topic, we have James and Tiara. Welcome, guys.
Hey, hey.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm good.
doing
How are
great.
you?
Good. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And we also have Simone. Hey,
Hi,
Simone. Simone, is it okay if I call you Moan or is that okay?
that's fine.
Okay. All right. And then joining me in the studio is Asia. Hey, Asia. Hey guys, thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all for joining us or joining me today on Real Talk. Listen, I am excited about this because something is telling me that we're about to get on this topic and we're gonna get on it hot. If I'm not mistaken, James, I think you said boom. So the question was, is marriage relevant, right? And it's no right or wrong answer, is whatever you see. What does marriage look like for you? And the reason why I said that is because, you know, a lot of the young people are not getting married, but what are they doing? And I have seen in my research that education has seemed to be at a higher standard than marriage. So I'm going to come to you first, James and Tierra. What does marriage mean to you guys?
Well, for me, I would say marriage means a lifelong commitment still. It's like saying, I'm willing to be with this person through whatever, to the end of the end. And
Mm,
yeah, I think that's really what it is. It's really understanding that you have to, whatever comes from this person is y'all now. Like, it's like, all of it is all or nothing for me.
right. Okay, commitment. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Simone, what you got for us?
I agree with her. Like, you need to be my ride or die. I'm saying I
Mm.
ain't trying to kill nobody, but we need to be able to have each other's back
Yeah.
on all aspects of the world, ministry, work related, fun, family time, everything.
Yeah.
So you need to be my go-to and
Right.
vice versa for me.
I like that. Asia, she said, you need to be my ride or die. Right? What is that? I need you need do you agree? They gotta be your ride or die?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us about that.
I agree because when you're somebody's ride or die, you stick it out through thick and thin. No
Mm-hmm.
matter like how hard times might get, you just stick it through with that person because that's your ride or die.
Okay. All right. So what I'm hearing y'all say, commitment, sticking it through, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We got to stick it out together. But yet y'all heard the statistics. So this is what you guys are saying. Society is saying that y'all are not getting married. Divorce rate is at an alarming 50%, right? And it's they say it's because y'all. What you got, Simone? What you got?
Well, I believe these days, since social media plays a role in
Mm,
everybody's life, it's really major to the point where it makes everyone feel like they have options. If this one ain't gonna do it, she will or he will. So it's really crazy how social media plays a role in everybody's relationship nowadays, and that's what I feel about that.
Ooh, James. She is dropping bombs already, James. She said social media makes it seem as if I got an option. So if I have an option, who's my ride or die?
God needs to be your ride or die, but
Come on,
Yeah,
James.
first and foremost.
amen.
Well, like in that sense, like if you always feel like you got options, you will forever be looking for that person.
Hmm.
And you might end up passing on without ever finding, your one true love or your ride or die, someone that you can grow old with, have a family, things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
Okay.
when you feel like you
All
have
right.
options, you're gonna keep, going.
Okay. So I'm hearing you guys say that, but yet it's being said that 45% are deciding not to choose marriage. Like 45% of the millennials and Gen Z are choosing not to be married. But yet I'm hearing you guys say we need a ride or die, somebody who's going to be there by my side through the thick and thin, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the indifferent. So I want to stick with this options, right? So social media, I want to back that up because social media is not the problem, it's the people that's doing all this stuff on social media,
Hmm.
right? So we're going to say it like that, but at the same time, do you guys say like, hey, you know these are boundaries? Do we have boundaries for social media? Asia, Moan, James, somebody, Asia, camera on you. Do we have boundaries for social media?
I
Yeah.
feel like we should have boundaries in the relationship on social media, but when it's two people and they are coming together, one person seems see it one way for a usage, and another person see it another way for a usage, and it's just like, are you really using it for what you say you're using it for? Or are you using it to pass time? Or are you using it to just really just see what's really out there, to get another option, to get somebody else on your list of people? I don't really know. Are you using it for a platform to encourage people or to uplift somebody or show your talents or stuff like that? So
Okay.
what are we really using the social media for? Like,
Right.
where are the boundaries really come in at? Like, what's
So
really going on?
what you saying that, Simone, boundaries, right? Boundaries have to be established before we even get started.
Right.
Because if the boundaries didn't get set, then we can't sit there and say, well, I appreciate if you don't do this or won't do that. So the boundaries got to be set in the beginning of relationship. If we gonna create a ride or die relationship, then both of our opinions, thoughts, and everything else are important. That's why we have to come together. And another thing that you guys say about the labels, right? So
Hmm.
society or options, society I believe it was maybe my generation who was like, well, we shouldn't label them or whatever the case may be. So now, naturally, the millennials, the Gen Y, they grew in fear of labels. So,
Mhm.
with that being said, fear of labels mean fear of commitment, right? And that's one of the biggest reasons why, people are finding it hard to date because they don't want to commit. And I want to see what Lanika says before I get you guys to answer that. She said, I think the challenge comes in when people don't have these conversations. Yes, these conversations are needed in the beginning of the relationship. Like, what are we looking for in a relationship? So I want to say that with us having, the fear of commitment, James, I think it was you that said, or Tiara, one of you guys said commitment, but yet I don't want the label. So y'all know I don't know all the language, but I done heard situationships, entanglements,
Jesus.
whatever else. I done
Say
heard all
what?
of that stuff, right? So tell me about that. I don't want the commitment, right? But yet I want to be in a situationship. What's a situationship, Asia?
Come on, tell us, Asia.
A situationship, the way I would define that is you're not either together or separated, but you're still
In a
in a
situation.
situation.
Okay. So situationship. All right. Who wants to jump on entanglement? What's that mean? Because it's some of older folks on here. They ain't heard these words before. What's
Entanglement. We gonna say Will Smith and Jada in August. There it is.
so
Entanglement.
so so again, we have all of these different things out of there, or we're just talking, or we're just, yeah, somebody told me yesterday, okay, so I asked him, are we doing this in public or am I just for the bedroom? I said, why would you ask a man that? Like, that was just said to me yesterday by a young lady. She was 24 years old, and it almost blew my whole mind because I'm like, really, is that where we are, all in the name of not wanting to be commitment? So what does commitment mean? Simone, I'm gonna come to you. What is commitment?
I would say y'all will have to be exclusive to that the point that you are committing yourself to be in a relationship behind closed doors in public. You are my person. I am your person to love out loud. You are committing to bringing me what I need and me giving you what you need and us being in a relationship. That's how I feel a commitment is. I'm not
Okay.
100% sure. I don't know what Webster says, but
Right. It ain't about Webster. So
right.
Tiara, so commitment, right? So I didn't ask you guys, are you two in a relationship right now, you and James, or y'all just roommate? Like, are y'all in a relationship?
Yeah.
Okay. So I seen where Lanika said we're not having these conversations. What conversation did you guys have before you entered into this?
To be no conversations really, just to be fair, because just to be fair, we got in a relationship when I was 17, so I didn't know any conversations to have. It was just kind of like, you like me, I like you, cool, no problem. But now, I would say those conversations is definitely like, what do you expect? Like what do you expect on social media? What do you expect in person? What do you expect in our day-to-day interactions? Like, what are those expectations? Because I see a lot now of just people in my friend groups and stuff where some person is really active on social media, where they're posting all the time about everything that's going on, and then they're with someone who is like a ghost, and then they get upset when, like, okay, I'm posting and I'm like letting everyone know what's going on, and I'm letting everyone know like I'm loving you out loud, right? But for that other person, who may not be as active on social media, they feel like, well, I'm loving you out loud in person. What does this Instagram page have to do with it? Or what does this have to do? What does, Twitter has to do with it, or whatever? um
Right.
but for that other person, that could be very important to them, because that's how they see their like life. Like, it's not just about seeing people in the street. They care about, okay, but if they go to your Instagram page, can you be
Does it
identified as
reflect
someone?
me?
Yeah, like, do we show that we're together?
That's
So
good.
you got to have those conversations, because if you don't, those relationships blow up really quickly.
That's good. And thank you guys so much for your transparency. You said it was no conversation. We're 17. Check the box. You
Yeah,
want to go out with me? Yes, no.
pretty much, pretty much. Yeah. So,
Right. So now we're growing. We're grown. We're more grown, right? So 17, you guys are early 20s,
yep.
right? Early 20s. So now what does that look like? Because dating at 17 is different than dating at 20, which is different at dating at 25. So how does your dating how does the dating experience affect your view on marriage? And James, I want you to think on that, because I'm gonna come to you with something else that's attached to that. But Asia, I'm gonna come to you. How does the dating experience right now, you guys, how y'all date, affect your view on marriage, or does it?
Yes, it does. It affects it to where I see marriage as like a fantasy.
Mm,
So it's not something that would be like guaranteed to happen, or it's just something that's not really common to happen anymore. If the relationship even lasts that long to get to the marriage aspect of it. But yes, Ellison, to answer your question, marriage to me is seen as a fantasy.
wow, she said even gets that long, because the dating process. Does that have to do with the options? Right? She said if it gets that long. But is that because of so many options that are out there? What's causing us not to get to the married state?
I would, if I could just chime in really quick, I feel like the biggest thing is that people see a lot, like we were talking about on social media, people see a lot what's going on social media, or a lot of movie stuff where they think like you're going to meet this person and it's just going to be rainbows and butterflies, and it's just all like perfect. Like this person is the perfect person, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like he's going to come on this white horse and like, we're going to go ahead and get married. But even I had to really like unpack that and figure that out for myself, because we see so much of like what we think is a good person or think is a good partner or a good husband or good wife, and we forget that these are still people, so people can still have flaws. And a lot
Right.
of people, especially my generation, Gen Z, you say options, but it's more, I would personally say that it's more of lack of patience, because you just kind of like, soon as you see something, it's like, oh, I don't really like that, and I don't have to deal with this because there's 10
Mm,
more of you in my DMs right now that we can try it again with those. So like, oh, I don't really like how you said though, I don't like how you dealt with that, so we're gonna move on, instead of sitting here talking through it and being like, okay, wait, I didn't like that you did that. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. That doesn't mean
yeah.
that we're not right for each other. But it does mean that you have things that you have to deal with, and so do I. But I don't see how that can be something that's like, it's not a deal breaker. People don't know
Right.
really know their deal breakers. They just know I don't want to deal with that, and that's it.
Okay. So it's like it's almost as if, well, if you say something I don't like, I'm gone. If
Yeah.
you do something I don't like, I'm gone. If I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, I'm gone. It just seems like whatever, and this is where I'm going back to again. It's whatever you feel at the time. And if we go based on our feelings, then this is why we're jumping to and from and everywhere else, right? So I'm
Mhm.
glad that you talked about that, because yeah, it's so important for us to talk through our issues, and nobody wants to talk through it anymore, because you know why? I don't feel like it. So James, right? We was talking about, I wanted you to answer the question as a male well, not in the dating arena, but male, since you've been dating since you guys was roughly 17, 18, whatever years old, and you're hearing everyone talk about options, commitment, changing partners, like you change your shoes, all this other stuff. What is your view from a male's perspective?
I would say when you're dating as a man, you have to sort of figure out what you want in the like in your partner. So for Tiara, I knew she was smart, she was beautiful, like she had like pretty much all the framework mapped out. It was seeing that mature and being patient. Like she said, like you have to be patient. You
Mhm.
guys are coming in brand new. Y'all don't really know each other like that. So some things might, get on your nerves or like just annoy you. But um you have to be, sort of certain about what you want in your relationship.
Mhm.
Like an example, if I wanted a female that was college educated and let's say played sports or something like that, right? You're not really gonna find that like going down the block to
Come on now.
Jaja and Woo Woo, right? You're not really gonna find that. Now,
Right.
where you will find those type of people, you will to go to school, right? Like you will go to college, like, oh, I
Yes, I
want to
like
find a
what you're
college
saying.
educated woman. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to educate myself. I'm going to become a better person so I can meet this meet this person and blossom.
That's right. I like what you say, and it's like, well, I'm not gonna say what my mama said, because this is, I done got saved since then. But the thing about it is, if you want a hood rat, you're gonna get a hood rat. If you want a bad dude, you're gonna get a bad dude. So I'm hearing you say, what do you want in a person, and then go to those places, right? Because, not to say that, people that just go to the museums or arts and all that other stuff, are just the educated ones, and they don't have issues either. But if I want a certain type of person and I'm looking for a certain type of person, then I got to be that type of person, as well as going to places where that type of person hang out. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yeah,
Yeah.
precisely.
Yeah. And I see Eric, he said, stop looking for trophies amongst the trash. Ooh.
Mhm.
Ooh, and woo. You know what, Sierra? I heard, Tiara, I heard you say something about your shining armor on a white horse. And, Eric says this, and I'm probably going to say it wrong. Eric says that you don't want a knight in shining armor because they haven't been through anything. You want somebody who might have some bumps in the arm, a little bit of this, a little bit of that going on. Somebody that might have paid some bills before, so you know what that's like. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So yeah, I think that's true. So Simone, do you feel marriage is too much work?
For the wrong person, it is. Yeah,
For the wrong person.
it is.
How long do I stick around to see if the wrong person is the right person, or do I know the red flags, or do I think the red flags are
Um,
pink? And I mean,
I think with that, it takes patience and the willing to work on it, to work things through, to for individually and together. So, like, if you do want your marriage to work, if you are already married, I do feel like y'all will have to come together, talk it out, pray it out, therapy, counseling, church, whatever you need to do to find that happy place to get back on track to move forward. Then I believe that it can work. It is a lot of work, but it can work.
mhm. So excuse me. Let me ask you guys this, and Asia, I'm gonna come to you. So marriage, yes, it is a lot of work, but is dating not a lot of work?
It is.
Okay, you elaborate.
It is.
Why do you feel
It
dating is
is.
a lot of work?
I feel like it's a lot of work because if you're truly committed to somebody with or without the label, you still have to put in the work to make the relationship work.
Okay.
So
All right. So dating is a lot of work, but yet, we're not getting married. You guys are not having children. I read that too. So I read that, listen to this. And James, this goes about your comment with school. I read that it is possible that debt reduces fertility.
What?
So the amount of debt, right, that you're in, because I bet you're so stressful, that it has a strong effect on delaying fertility. So they say, well, you guys, millennials and Gen Zs, are not getting married and you're not having children because of the hard work and because of debt. Wow. So James, Mr. Go to college, find the person. What are your thoughts on that part? Like, wow, right? Because think about it. If I'm in debt and we together, we arguing. Some people, we chose not to fight over finances over this way. But some people, finances is an end all.
Well, I think like in my last statement, when you find someone in school, right? They most likely will have that too, right? So it's like, hey, throw it all in one pot. We could knock it out together.
That's what
So
I'm saying. He said, knock it out together, knock it out the box.
yeah, so that I know I got student loan debt. I'm about to finish up my master's, so I got a bunch of it. But I'm not really too much worried about that. I'm like, hey, it's there. Everybody's gonna be in debt. If you want to have a house, you most likely
Yeah,
will be in debt. If you want a car, that's another debt. So it's like you just gotta keep it rolling.
you just got to keep it rolling. Okay, so let's talk about you guys. Y'all are dating, right? Can I get a little personal? Ask a question.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay, see, I like that. Are you guys living together?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so how long you been living together?
A while.
Oh.
A while. A long while.
We
A few
we have
years.
been we've been living together since 2018.
Okay, since 2018.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Well,
that's
August of
5 years. All right. So how does that work right now? That we're dating. We've been dating since 17. We've been living together since I since 2015. I think 18. Y'all said something like that. So does the dating dynamic change once we start living together? Then as if we were in two separate places?
Absolutely. It
Okay.
definitely did change. No, it changes a lot, but I think ours is a special case because we just had a lot of different changes just because of not only moving in with each other, but also because of age and lack of knowledge and wisdom and all the things. So, but I think the main difference that happened when we moved in together was we got to know each other on a very different level. And we both have said this before, but we moved in with each other very prematurely, right? And so because of that, it was a lot of conflict in the beginning because we were two kids,
Yeah.
coming together like, oh, this would be fun. Like this would be fun. Like this makes sense. Cool. And we weren't really thinking logically about it. But like even now we say a lot of the times where our relationship really just got started for real about 2-3 years ago. That's when it really was like, okay, this is when the relationship actually started. Like the 17, 18, 19, 20, that I don't it was cool, but that was not an actual relationship.
Okay. All right. So with that being said, right? Um the question was asked, if you have been living together that long, do you consider each other life partners? Like, is marriage in the future at this point?
Yeah,
Yes.
for sure.
Okay.
It is definitely on the horizon. That is something that we both want to do. So
Yay.
Okay. And that's what I'm saying. So you guys are living together. You know that marriage is on the horizon. It's something you both want to do. But what? Like, why not July 25th, 2023? What are you waiting on?
well, I would say like Tiara said, like our relationship truly started, I would say, after we graduated undergrad. Um and like it's more so growth. Like we're still continuing to um grow our relationship with God, um develop more as adults instead of kids that was in high school, college, things
Yes.
of that nature. um and it's never a rush, because when you like rush the process, it can turn out to be bad, and that's
Yeah.
why the divorce rate is so high because people just punch it, and it's like, well, did you at least get counseling? Did you,
Right.
at least have talks about these things? But
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then you said, did you at least have counseling? So then you do believe in going through counseling before marriage or anything else like that. Okay.
For sure.
So going back to the dating game, right? You guys said that it's different now. We actually count what a couple of years ago that we really started. Simone, has your view on dating changed since earlier years than it does now?
I think so. Everybody's online now, so it's not. It's I think so. It's everybody's on a dating app now, and it's hard to meet people in person
Okay.
to actually to get to know and start dating. You meet them online, and then you talk for a while, and then you meet up if you decide to do that. And it's just really it's a really sketchy game.
Okay. So online dating, right?
Hmm.
So you said online dating. You guys been dating for a while. Asia, I'm gonna come to you, Asia. So I want to ask you if you feel like dating has changed since you was in high school versus when you are now, your age now. So what is your view on that?
No.
It hasn't changed?
No.
Okay, so tell us about your view on dating.
Honestly, to be honest, I feel like dating can be either a waste of time or it could be beneficial and then you spend that time the rest of life with that person.
Okay, so
But
a waste of time?
you
Well,
asked me
some
my
people.
opinion about my son.
Yeah, I want to know about the waste of time.
Yes, because these people, they're committed to you or whatever. You're in a relationship, but they don't do whatever it is to make the relationship work or whatever. So that's a waste of time. My
Okay.
time is wasted.
Okay. All right. So your time is wasted. So how much time do we put into an individual before we feel like our time is wasted? Who wants to jump in on that one? You want to chime in first, or?
Um, I think it just depends. Like if you feel like that person is worth fighting for or worth making that relationship work, there's no like set amount of time that is given. It's
Okay.
just infinite.
Okay.
I
All right.
agree with that. I can agree with that.
Okay. Speak to that some more, Simone.
Um, yeah, it's just I guess for me, I know for me, it just depends on how much I like the person and how much I'm going to deal with. Because if if I don't like you that much, deuces. But if I feel like there's potential to something else greater happening, I may give it a little bit more time. So,
Okay.
like she said, there is no time frame, like 30 to 90 days. There's no real time frame for that or a year or whatever. It's just like I just got to know if I like you enough to put up with some stuff and we work through that stuff, then we can move forward. Yes. But if I don't feel like I ain't,
Okay. So
wait,
let's talk about working through,
work.
right?
Hmm.
James and Tiara, you guys, we're going to jump on y'all first. What does working through look like? What does that look like for y'all?
Um, Probably caring enough to continue to talk about something, to continue bringing it up, like just caring enough. Because I think, at least for me personally, it's easy for me to say, okay, I'm choosing not to care about this, and I'm like, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go my own way. I think I don't want to deal with this. But I think in some situations, especially if you in a relationship that you feel is worth fighting for, you gonna care enough, you're gonna sit there and have the conversation, and you gonna call. And I know people like to make it seem like they don't double text. You're gonna double text, you're gonna triple, quadruple text, you're gonna text that man as many times as you feel like it, to get your point across because you care. um,
Sounds like that's been done before, James.
Yeah, I will. I do.
yes.
Sending books, sending books.
So, James, from a male's perspective, what does working that through? Because I heard Tiara say, "Yeah, I send books." And I don't want to put you on the spot because after the show is over, you still got to stay there. But tell me, what does that look like for you?
Well, working it out, I would say like being willing to admit your faults, like being willing to change certain behaviors that might have, rubbed your partner the wrong way. Um, and like, yeah, just having the wherewithal of like wanting to work it through. Like if you feel like this is your partner, this is your ride or die, your future husband or wife, you have to put your own pride aside and work it through, talk it out.
Right. Ooh, the pride word. Okay. All right. What does work it in? The pride word. What does that look like, Asia? She says she sends texts and books.
I have no shame. I call. I have no shame. It's
Listen,
like,
when you got to get what you got to say off your chest, you got to do what you got to do. And if you're going to hang up, you're going to get these text messages.
Okay, so let me help all y'all out right now. Let me help all y'all out right now. There is such a thing, guys, as stopping before you proceed, because if I don't and I keep sending these texts and they not answering, I'm getting angrier and angrier, right? The other person is getting annoyed, and y'all generation are blocking and blocking. It is so ridiculous, right? So if I just stop a minute and ask myself, okay, if I keep texting, what is this really doing for me? It's getting me more angry. What is it doing for them? How are we really getting anything resolved? So I wanted to throw that nugget out there to y'all. Sometimes you need to just stop and wait a minute and come back and regroup and then talk about it once we're more calm. Because I know me, if I keep sending a text and keep calling and you're not answering, whew, yes.
Oh, hell is going to break loose. I'm glad you said that, Lady Ellison, Allen. Because I was just thinking that because I'm learning to pause and process and then speak. Because when you speak out of your emotions, sometimes you say things you really, really don't mean,
Yes.
but deep down inside you really wanted to say that, but you really don't mean it. So I'm learning more and more each day that sometimes you just have to just take a pause. And I stopped sending a whole bunch of text messages. If you want to sit there and do all of those text messages and video messages and all of that, fine. I'm going to watch them. I'm going to say, you have a blessed day. And I'm going to move forward because I can't keep going back and forth. I'm getting older and I don't have time for that. And I'm trying to find peace within myself. So I don't have to keep going back and forth with you. So we don't have to keep having the same conversations back and forth. And so that's what I'm learning over here on this side.
Yes. Peace within you means I don't have to keep calling. I don't have to keep texting. I don't have to allow you to keep calling and you keep texting. I'm going to have some peace, right? So with peace being said, right, the word peace, Asia, I'm coming to you. Why in the world do your generation, right, y'all generation, y'all mad? I'm blocking you on the phone. I'm blocking you on social media. I'm blocking you on whatever. Like, what? What is all of that about? What's all that about, Asia?
No contact.
I don't do stuff like that.
They don't want no contact. They don't want to hear what you got to say, basically, when they do all of that blocking.
Right, and that's so rude. Please don't do that.
I've been blocked. It's okay. They unblock me though.
Especially if you're like, I'm sorry, but it's really funny. It's really flabbergasting. But when you're trying to like explain something to somebody or get your point across, and they block you, it's just
okay.
I see all three of y'all face. James, don't say a word, honey. Do not say a word. I see all three of their face. What you got, James? What you got?
All right, so our generation blocks so much because like it's on the internet, right? Like let's say you talking on Facebook, Instagram, whatever you want to do, right? Or you got you texting someone. If I hit block, I could just instantly disconnect from you. Like I don't have to deal with anything that you're talking about. I don't have to work on anything. I don't have to fix anything. I don't have to change anything. You're blocked. That's it. That's done.
Oh, oh, you hear him, Asia?
But what about when they unblock you and then because you want to say something? Because I've been blocked and unblocked by the same person. So what is that about? Like,
So
obviously you wanted to hear what
it's
I had
all
to say, or
trash.
you had to say something to me. So what's up?
Right. So what you got, Asia?
Said trash.
Yeah, that's I don't know, but I kind of fibbed a little bit because I did block. I have blocked people before, but it but it was never long. But I can agree with James because he said you don't have to deal with whatever they're saying, and I feel like for some people that's like a defense mechanism. Like if you don't know how to like properly express the way you feel about something or how to properly respond to what your significant other or whoever you're arguing with is talking about, you just block it out so you don't have to deal with it because it's too much for you to deal with. But you
Right.
don't know how to explain that. So then it just turns into a whole big misunderstanding and a bigger problem than what it already had to be.
That's good, Asia. And I wanted to jump on what you said and James said. He's like, if I block you, I ain't got to deal with it. I'm just disconnect. But is that part of the problem? We use the social media, the block as a disconnect, and have we really connected in the first place? How are we so connected if you my ride or die, you my all, you my everything, you know all the stuff y'all started saying when y'all were younger and all that. And so if you all that in a bag of Lay's with a Sprite on the side, why am I blocking you? So is it that easy to disconnect from us right now in the dating or in the marriages? Huh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why it's that easy for people to walk away because they don't want to deal with nothing. They want to fight for nothing.
It's conflict. People don't like dealing with conflict, and
Right.
it's hard. Like because conflict is hard. You know, it's hard to. A lot of times people feel like I can't believe you don't agree with me. Like I'm looking at you differently because you don't agree with me.
Right.
I can't believe that. So it's a lot for some people to be able to process. But you know,
Right.
not personally. I have never blocked him, so I don't know about
Well,
you.
I mean, that goes back with what I was saying, to just wait a minute, to pause a minute. So we don't have to go through all that. James, what you got? I see you.
Yeah, I've never blocked Tiara. And I was also gonna say something that Pastor Allen just put in the chat, right? Like they're weak. That's the soft life that people want, right? They want everything to just be pushed their way. Like I want everything to be catered to me. But the world is not perfect. The world is not going to cater to your every whim. So if conflict arises, you have to meet it head first. Or if not, you just blow up the entire relationship and you can permanently just disconnect altogether.
Right, right. Wow. Yes, permanently disconnect. And that's what I feel like. I feel like, and I wish I could, by me being a counselor, I really wish I could say it was just millennials and Gen Z, but it's not. You got them old ones out there doing it too. You know what I'm
But
saying?
they do it in person. That's what I do respect, though. They do it in person. They will literally, like, y'all generation will literally be like, I am done with you. And
I am done. What you're not going to do is, and I'm about to tell you in your face, and I'm out. Don't call me. Right?
Yeah, y'all would just be like, don't call me. That's it.
Jeanette said you block when you no longer want to interact with that person. Yes, but listen to this. Are you teaching me how to treat you? Because the more I block you and then I unblock you because I'm ready to speak to you. So I'm letting you know you just a standby.
That's a good way of looking at it.
That's
a manipulation in the form of control. So I don't want to deal with you and I don't want to deal with conflict, as you said, Tiara. So block. And then when I'm ready to talk to you again, then I'll unblock you. What?
And that
why is that okay?
Married. that is exactly why no one wants to get married, because you have a lot of people out here that do things like that and believe that like they're like the relationship is a game. Like it's like, oh, let's see who can be petty the longest, or let's see who can fold
She
the
said petty
quickest.
father.
And it's just like, why does it matter?
Petty. She said petty. Petty. Yes. So let me ask you this question. Do either of you guys think that, and Simone, I'm gonna come to you with this question first. Do family dynamics play a role in how I view relationships or marriage?
Um, I say yes and no. Only if I feel like when the family is involved, it gets a little messy sometimes. And then when the family is involved, it's helpful. It just depends on the family itself. So, like, for instance, me and my family, we only have one person to look at that's married. So I'm just like, it's marriage in the cards for me again, you know? So it's just
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
saying I'm hopeful, fingers crossed, pray to God, that, I do get married again one day, but I do feel like the family do, especially if the family's too involved in the person's relationship. When the family started getting too involved and then he or she is calling each other's parents and this, that, and third, and it's just, it gets messy. It gets
Right.
confused like that. And it's
Right.
just too much sometimes.
So, okay. So on family dynamic, right? So I don't, Tiara and James, I don't know your family dynamic, but I don't know how many people, Moan says she only have one, one couple, I guess, to look at as far as marriage. But so James,
She talk about, I
so
guess.
James and Tiara, like, I don't know what y'all seen. Did you see, single parent, divorce? Like, what does family dynamic mean to your relationship?
Well, for me, my parents were never together, and they both got married to other people. And then I had later on another representation of just healthy marriage, and so I feel like for me, my family dynamic definitely made an impact on how I think about relationships and how I went about, our relationship. Just because I didn't see a ton of marriage, and I didn't see a ton of healthy marriage at that. Like there
Yeah.
were a lot of people that were married in my family, but they weren't. It was clearly a very unhealthy, and not something that I would personally strive for.
Yeah.
Not until my later years. And so I would say, for me, it just kind of, at first I felt like marriage wasn't everything, wasn't all that it's cracked up to be. I'm like, well, listen, these people get married and it ain't looking too good, but
Right.
later on, when I really found when my other parents, they came into my life and they showed me what an actual marriage is supposed to look
Healthy
like.
relationship. Mhm.
Yes, and like how two healthy separate people have to come together and create a healthy.
Girl, that's part two.
Yeah,
That's
that's
part two.
right, exactly. I didn't know that though. Like I thought that you come together and you fix it when you're together, and you can help fix it.
Mm-mm. You got your backpack of junk. He got his backpack
Right,
of junk. We dumping it in the floor, and don't nobody want to deal with nothing.
right,
James, what about your family dynamic?
So there were people in my family that have gotten married. I personally didn't see how they interacted and things of that nature. Because as of right now, no one is married in my family.
Mhm.
So like people rush things. They jump into the deep end of the pool. Don't know how to swim, and it completely just wrecks everything. My like personally, my parents they were together, but they never married. They were together for a very long time. Never married.
Right.
So I personally don't have any like
So
representation.
so 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 I'm hearing you guys, and I'm also looking at Asia. I'm coming to you. You're not off the hook, but I'm listening to you guys, right? And I'm also remember my statistics about baby boomers being the generation, and even though they're getting older, they're still divorcing. So these are the parents, right? These are the grandparents, the aunties and stuff that you see. So, I think that's important because where's the role models at? And then it was like even a 20-30% of divorces in the church. So where's the real role models for that? I mean, it's out there. Marriage is a community. So I want to say this. Tammy said, once I block you, I don't unblock you. Listen, I'm not unblocking nobody. I don't even care if you don't be friends with me. I'm going to leave you on social media so you can see me bloom. But anyway, Asia,
Right.
family dynamics, right? How does your family dynamics you think impact your view on marriage?
It makes- um, I mean, it's really a lot that I could say, but I'm not going to get into it too much. But it does impact my view in a positive way. It shows me that no matter like how tough a storm, it can always be overcome if you both want it. But if only one person wants it, then it's just over with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's impacted it on a positive way. It's taught me like in like relationship wise when I'm in relationships or in a relationship or whatever, it teaches me to like if I know that I want to be with this person, it teaches me to fight for what I want.
Right. All right, that's good. That's good. And Jeanette said that marriage makes you responsible, right? She said it makes you responsible. You have to face the facts, sit down, and communicate, which is so true, and is a sign of maturity, right? So she said, "Thank you guys for sharing." And then I seen where Lanika said, as Tiara's madre, right? She's instilling these things into you and what to have. That goes. Thank you, Nikki, because that goes right back into it. Does take a community. You can't and see, I think sometimes the generations think they know everything, so because they know everything they don't really listen. But marriage, it does, it takes a community. It takes, and to have a real relationship is a community, and I think that's really, 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 really impactful when you get someone who is married and not perfect, but they striving to do all they can do, right? So listen, I want to touch bases on this because we talked about, dating. We talked about the knight in shining armor. We talked about the commitment. We talked about all of this stuff, right? So, James and Tierra, you guys are living together. Some of, you guys on here, y'all had relationships where you actually lived together, and so on and so forth. So that goes back to my question of, so what y'all think about testing the product before marriage?
You don't drive a car off the lot without test driving it, do you?
I like that. And yeah,
Don't
you
listen to
don't
her, James.
you just don't you don't go buy a house without going seeing
Right.
first,
So you got to, because what if you realize okay, I know back in the day, y'all not sexing it up, y'all not living with them until marriage. Okay, cool. This is 2023. We testing products out, because what did we find
how
out?
many tests you gotta have?
Well, I'm not saying you got to test all products. I'm just saying the one that you putting your all into. That one. Oh my God.
I mean, y'all blocking. Nobody wants to be committed. Like, I mean, it's real talk with Ellison.
I'm saying once you and that person are exclusively dating, and then y'all decide that y'all sit down and have that conversation, and y'all want to move in together and this, that, and the third, and share your life, and your ultimate goal is to get married. Cool. Let's try it out, because if I live with you and realize I don't like you when I live with you, how we getting married?
But so when you married is different, because if I don't like you, sometimes I gotta fight through that because I still love you. I gotta fight for that.
Right? I understand that. Marriage is a faith walk. I dig it.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. But
yes. So that's the whole thing, So what do you guys, Asia, I'm gonna come to you last, but Tiara, James, what do y'all think? Like, okay, so testing the product, James, you already jumped in the passenger seat. I like that.
Hey, I think like, yeah, you need to, like filling out, like fill your partner out, right? Like, see what their tendencies are, see things that they like look at their life through like their eyes, right? Because you can't be all about me, and then you get with this person, and then another person is also like me, and if you got two me's, it ain't gonna make a us. Okay,
I
so
like that. I like that. Two me's don't
so
make us.
Yes.
so
Y'all put that in the chat. Two me's don't make a us. Put that in the chat.
that's a little nugget right there.
There you
No,
go.
because I ain't actually yours yet.
So
Yes, so
testing out that
somebody
product.
says,
Yeah.
what does the Bible say about testing? Right? What does the Bible say about testing? Eric said, but two flesh can become one. Okay. Testing the product creates too many problems. Sexual intercourse creates a spiritual bond between two people. Testing the waters leaves you connected to too many people. I mean, these are all true. These are all facts. Lanika says there should be some progression in the relationship. My boyfriend shouldn't get what my husband gets. Boyfriend should not have husband benefits. That's my saying. The tension is when we have marriage expectations, when we are getting to know each other, or dating. Dating is information gathering. Yes, that is good. I believe that. So, with all of that being said, what, Asia? So, I'm coming to Asia now. What's your face?
Because the last sentence that cousin Nikki said, dating is information gathering, which is true. But if I'm with you for 4 or 5 years, I'm gathering information just for 4 or 5 years. Like, that doesn't make sense. So I personally don't understand. I just don't agree. That's why I made the face.
But if I'm with you for 4 or 5 years, at some point, what's the goal?
To get married. But some people know that they want to marry a person within 6 months, a year, 3 months, however long. It doesn't have a time.
Okay.
And even when you are married, you can still gather information that you didn't know about that person when you were dating.
Boom.
Yeah.
True. I agree with that. Yes. Information gathering, love it. And then if together that long, you should be married. Yes. And then Lanika, the conviction has to come from the Holy Spirit. I do agree. You guys, you got to get your conviction. We can't force. And I think that's part of the problem why some of the generations don't come talk to us, because we want to force what, our beliefs are, acting as if we didn't do stuff. You know what I'm saying? We act like we all forgot because we saved now, but we didn't. And I can say that too. I tested. I was driving. I sure was driving for marriage. And God, at the end of the day, I did get saved. God saved me. God convicted me. We did things and made it right. But we shouldn't judge the generation. That's what I'm saying. But how can we better guide? If all else fails, how can we better guide? So that's the question. How can we help the generation who doesn't want to be, committed? They rather be in situationships. They don't want to have labels and titles for each other. They rather be in entanglements. How can we better guide you guys to having a healthier relationship? That's my question. And Asia, I'm gonna come to you first.
That's a heavy question.
It is a heavy question. So I said, basically, how can our generation guide you guys? We don't want to make y'all feel as if you are being, attacked for what you perceive, you want to do for dating. So how can we help you guys? Or can we?
You can't. It's too late.
It's too late.
No, you can teach your old dog new tricks. Come on now. You can. It just the person
has to want to.
I was just about to say, they have to be open to wanting to learn new ways to love, to move forward, to hold something together, to work on something, to want marriage. They would need to want that with a passion for both of them. I'm saying, because it's not just one person, because it's going to be a couple that's getting it from another couple or another single person or a mentor or something like that. So you have to want it. And if you don't want it, then what are we doing?
Right. And that's the question. What are we doing? Tammy said we have to present to them the truth, then let them make their own decisions. And that is all we can do. We have to present them with the truth. Right. Mm-hmm. So, and that's it. The decision at the end of the day is yours, because like some of you guys on here, we did not have a role model for marriage, or we didn't see a healthy relationship, so let me make my own choices. right? So I think, that all you guys answering that, I think your answers were spot on for you. And that's the thing about us. We have to make sure we accept you guys for where you are, right? Accept you guys for where you are. Also be a guide, but accept you for where you are and help encourage you to move if you are in a stuck or a desolate state in a relationship, right? But again, like, Simone was elaborating on, you got to want different in order to do different, right?
Yeah.
So, so listen, guys, y'all been watching Real Talk with Ellison. We have been with Asia. We have had Simone, James, and Tiara. Thank you so much for being here. But I have one last question. So if y'all gotta go, deuces. But we're gonna end this. We're gonna ask this question right here. Gender roles.
Oh.
Gender roles, right?
Mhm.
Gender roles. Do they exist in your generation?
No,
No, Asia gonna jump in there. Go ahead, Asia.
because I mean, to make it long story short, it's a lot of like stuff on social media, a lot of the music that makes a woman believe that, like we were saying earlier, oh, if this man can't give it to me, the next one can, or I'm getting my own money, so I don't need this man's money. So it's really just women just are bossing up for say, like,
Right.
so I'm the boss, either like you gonna get with it or you're gone.
Wow.
I feel like a lot of men are like that too, though. Well, I lie. A lot of men, I really can't say how I want to say it, but a lot of men are
Lazy.
a little like
feminine.
feminine.
It's feminine.
Oh, okay. I was just like,
The roles are, I didn't know. I thought she was saying boom. So
Right.
the roles are being. So okay. So not only the gender roles, as far as the man is the head and the man is the man and provide and help out and all that other stuff, and then the woman, she's more submissive, but also the help meet, the side, not the behind, right? So that's all of that. But now we got the gender roles where we're not talking about the birds and the bees no more. We're talking about the birds and the bees, the bees and the bees, the birds and the birds that used to be bees and the bees that used to be birds. So what happens to gender roles, James?
I feel like and I want to say this correctly, like I feel like over time, like that soft life approach, um people want to be who they are, right? And um over time they like they start like resetting the trend, right? Because I believe, ooh, I want to say this I want to say this
You
right.
got it. Go ahead. It's Real Talk with
um
Ellison.
so like people want to like reset the trend, right? Like I don't want to have a title, I don't want to belong in this pool, I want to be the entire ocean, right? So that's where it sort of bends the whole, like, I'm the man, I lead by
Yeah.
example, I lead through Jesus, and I have my wife that follows me because I am a follower of Jesus, right?
Right.
So trying to like show people that it's oh gosh.
Help him out, Tiara. That's what a
Yeah,
supportive partner does.
yeah,
Help him out.
yeah, like I want to say it right, but
Just say
it.
I mean, I think the point that he's getting at is that people want to do things outside of their scope, right? And so people can't accept that, you know, they can't accept the box, or they like to associate it with the box. They don't like the limitations. They don't like the um this is what a woman is supposed to do, or this is what a man's supposed to do. They feel like we should all be able to do all the things. And I don't disagree with that, but I do feel like God made things the way he made things
That's right.
for a reason. Right. And I feel like who are we to question that?
Yeah.
Who are we to really try to bend those, try to like question those little things? And I mean, I guess
Y'all so cute. Y'all are so cute. So what they trying to say is God created man and woman.
And that's just what it is.
That's just what it is. Let the two become one so they can be fruitful and multiply. Moan, jump in on that topic. Go ahead.
Gender roles. I feel like these days that the gender roles, the men want to be feminine, the females want to be masculine. It's crazy. I know I'm trying to enter my soft girl era. I want the man to open the door for me. I don't want to touch those doors. They dirty anyway. So like, certain stuff like that, that's little stuff. Like, I don't understand why everybody want to be like that. It's like a whole mosh pit of mess.
Right.
Be a man. You
Yeah.
was born a man. You was born a
Right.
boy.
Yeah.
Be a girl.
Okay. All right.
Mm.
So
Simple.
I'm hearing all of y'all. So this way, I'm hearing what y'all are saying. So we should respect how the hierarchy that God put in order. That's
Amen.
what it is. Amen. Nail that shut. Right? That God created it. That's what He spoke. That's what it is. Period. Right? So we just have to be mindful of when we're in relationships that's what we do. Right? That's what we do. If that's what we believe, then that's what we do. That's what we, allow to happen. That's what we enter into. Right? Regardless to what society is doing, we have to follow it the proper way. All right, so Jeanette, yes, let the man treat you like the queen that you are. Woo! Yes, yes, yes. But I got to make sure I present myself as a queen, right? I got to make sure I present myself as a queen, especially if we're dating. If we're husband and wife, we're in there, we just in it a little longer. But listen, ladies, you can't have a king if you're treating him like a court gesture. Okay, you want him to be a king, treat him like a king. You want him to treat you like a queen, represent like a queen. But we can't have that if we're running around out here and doing all this other stuff, right? And Eric's back there going, the ratchet or hood or whatever. How do I be a queen? So set yourselves up for success in this world, right? Okay, so she says, and we have to make sure that a woman, yes, we take care of our men. That's right. So if you really look at the Bible, and y'all thinking about your nugget, because I'm coming to you, James, Tierra, Simone, and Asia, with your nugget. If you think about the Bible first tells that the man needs to stay home one whole year, even though we can't do that, and minister to his wife so that he can make her happy. That's what the scripture says. And the reason why he does that is so that now, when he has to go out, when he has to do all of these other things, when he has to be gone, now my wife is pleased and my wife can be all to me that I need her to be, because I poured so much into her. And right now, nobody's pouring. We're not pouring in relationship anymore. We're so busy pulling out and pouring in so much negativity. So in order for me to treat you the way, and I'm talking about me as a woman, to treat you as a man, are you representing as that man? And also, we have to ask God, when we are in our relationships like that, when we are married, help me not to see him through or see her through my natural eye, but through your eyes, because we will always fail looking through man's eyes. Okay. Amen. James, Tiara, give me nugget. She threw you on the bus.
Yeah, she did. Okay. Well, I would say, like, when it comes to marriage, always keep an open mind. And if you don't have great examples, look for them. You're on social media all the time. You're on the internet all the time. You could go to your local church. You could go anywhere, but keep an open mind and have faith that your relationships can be healthy and can work, without all the craziness of the world.
Okay, thank you, sir. Tiara.
My nugget is get to know yourself, get to know get to know God, have a good relationship with God, have a good relationship with yourself, and then become healthy, solve your traumas, solve your, those things that you have, get your bag in order, and then, go ahead and then pursue marriage. It doesn't matter if you're in a relationship for 2 minutes or 10 years. If you're not ready, then do it when you're ready and do it when you're whole.
Okay. All right. She said, do it when you whole. Simone, what's your nugget?
Um, put God first in your relationship. You got to be each other's friends. You got to love each other. You have to build a strong foundation. You have to communicate. And then you have to learn to let go. Love, live, laugh together, and just be good, be great.
Okay. All right. Be good, be great, be friends, love together. All right. Coming to Asia.
I've been thinking for a while my nugget was going to be um, enjoy yourself.
Enjoy yourself. Be true to yourself. Okay. All right. Enjoy yourself. Be true to yourself. Hey, if you don't love yourself, how you going? If I don't love me, right? How am I going to tell you how to love me? That's what I get. So listen, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching or for joining me here on Real Talk with Ellison, Tierra, James, Simone, Asia. Thank you guys for your input. I really appreciate it. Y'all old folks, I hope y'all learned some words. We talked about situationship, entanglement, and all that stuff. So yeah, I hope y'all learned some words. James, Tierra, Simone, we're gonna put you behind the scenes and we'll be there in just a moment, okay?
Okay.
All right. So thank you guys so much for watching Real Talk with Ellison. And we have been listening to, the generations and what their viewpoint in marriage is. And what I took away from it is, be a community for them. Be an example for them. Don't judge, right? But be there for them and allow them to see what healthy relationships is. Pour into them, because so many relationships, so many generations don't have those examples. More importantly, your relationship with God should always be first before anyone else. Because once I know who God is and the true love that Christ gives, as well as loving myself, I'm not going to settle for any and everything, right? Because I know who I am and whose I am. So again, thank you so much for watching Real Talk with Ellison. Tune in next week. We're going to have a wonderful power couple on with us as we continue to discuss marriage. Thank you so much for watching Real Talk with Ellison. God bless.